of what they're going to be discussing. Let's meet today's specialist. She appeared on MTV's The Real World, is married to Wisconsin Congressman Sean Duffy. She speaks to college forums about American capitalism and the American dream. Do we have music playing over this? Do we really have music playing?
A lot of changes. Lots of changes.
Specializes in loving to cook. Rachel Campos Duffy
I
is
can be on
here.
Latin music next time underneath my segment.
And he has spent 24 years with the Milwaukee Police Department. Was the 2015 recipient of the Conservative Political Action Conference Award and is the current sheriff of Milwaukee County, Wisconsin. So naturally, he specializes in everything law enforcement. Sheriff David Clarke is here. Let's get right to it. Senate Majority Leader sounded off about the path ahead for the health care debate just a short time ago. Listen.
This is just the beginning. We're not out here to spike the football. This is a long way, but we'll finish at the end of the week, hopefully, with a measure that can either go to the House and be taken up or go to conference.
All right, Sheriff. As Ebony points out, they have a lot of work to do going forward, but they made it over the first hurdle.
Well, they've had 6 or 7 years to get over that first hurdle. This has been a disaster from a PR perspective. I think any PR firm would say that. Look, in golf, there's this thing that's called a mulligan, right? You hit a bad shot, you get to do it over. But this is about their 4th mulligan. And the American people, if you look at the polling, they're tired of all the back and forth on this. They know Obamacare is headed off a cliff. They know this has been a disaster. They want it fixed, but the stuff, the way it goes on in the Senate and Washington, D.C., it's all this political theater that goes on. And in the end, it just takes too long to get this done. But I don't know how much longer they have. Really, the GOP I'm talking about, I don't know how much longer they have before the American people just kind of get tired of it.
Now, Rachel, we pointed out that you're married to a congressman. You're on Obamacare. What do you think of it?
I'm on Obamacare. And can I just say one thing about being on Obamacare? One thing that people don't understand is that when Congress voted to put itself on Obamacare, the Obama administration and the Obama family carved themselves. So when you saw those videos of Michelle Obama signing her family up for Obamacare, it was all fake. They are not on Obamacare, but Congress is. So this is personal to me, and I'm happy to see that we're one step forward. Look, it was on life support, no question about it. John McCain is a war hero. He takes a lot of grief from the Republican base. He was a hero today. He is the one who kept this thing alive today.
I have a niece,
to live another day.
I have a niece on Obamacare, and she absolutely, and I have family members in Chicago. They hate it. They can't stand it. The penalties, the deductions. It's awful for them. And she keeps telling me we need to get something to replace it.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I'm not sure what the Republicans have to replace it. Is it going to be any better?
That's the problem, Eric. You know, I opted out of Obamacare. I was one of those people that just said flat out, I'm not paying a premium that I find unaffordable, and I thought the coverage was lackluster. Right. So I'm all about a better solution. As the sheriff points out, 7 years later, here we are with no viable replacement plan. So for those that are completely dissatisfied, Rachel, with Obamacare, I got to tell you, it's not particularly comforting to hear this give us 2 more years to find something to replace it with. I mean, certainly people are afraid that it could go from bad to worse.
Now, Kat, so they made the first hurdle, so debate is open. Senator Rand Paul this morning tweeted in a series of tweets. He said this morning, Senate Majority Leader, meaning Mitch McConnell, informed me that the plan for today was to take up the 2015 clean repeal bill as he has urged. And this is something we've been talking about here. Rand Paul was told by Mitch McConnell that the clean repeal bill will at least be an option.
Right, absolutely. But again, we'll have those same problems as that we've had before this vote. In a way, it's the first hurdle, but in a way, it's kind of not, because we've already seen what it looks like when they try to come up with a replacement. I don't know if you guys, we all seem to have noticed that they are having a tough time because the differences, some people think it doesn't go far enough, some people think it goes too far. How do you reconcile that, no matter how much time you have, no matter if you have 7 more years? How do you reconcile that?
I was going to say, Eric, 2 senators of still not even moving forward to discussion. I mean, to highlight Kat's point of how far apart they are.
But a lot of talk about Republicans. The Democrats gave us this mess that not even this Democrat will purchase.
What Democrat?
Independent. Fine.
Oh,
okay, independent. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Well, independent. She will not vote for. She will not purchase Obamacare. I don't want Obamacare. But where are the Democrats?
Rachel,
Where's their responsibility in this?
The reason why it's failing is because premiums are skyrocketing because people were doing exactly what Ebony said she was going to do.
Right.
They're choosing to opt out, pay the penalty, and not pay for Obamacare,
right.
and therefore everyone else has to pick up the
grandmas and single people are being forced to buy coverage that includes maternity care when I know I need maternity coverage, but there's other people who don't. I mean, people want options, people want choices, and the Democrats also have to be held responsible for why. I mean, I understand, Sheriff Clarke, you're upset at the Republicans. I am too, but there is an obstructionist force, people who won't vote. Even
but Rachel, let me stop you right there, though. I hear, the obstructionist thing. I wasn't impressed with Obama making an obstructionist argument. I'm not impressed with the Republicans making one now, because when you're a leader and you control both chambers of Congress and the White House, it's your job to what? Work around obstruction. So the GOP has got to get at least on the same page, as Kat's pointed out time and time again, before I think you have the audacity to ask the Dems for anything, quite frankly.
But if I wreck the car, if I run it into the ditch, as President Obama said, I can't just sit back and make fun of why you can't fix it.
Let me bring Sheriff politically. Let's just say all these things are true politically. Now, this could it'd be expensive, and I get pushback from a lot of people when I suggest this. Let back away from the table now and say, we couldn't pass clean repeal. We couldn't pass skinny health care. We couldn't pass full health care repeal and replace. Back away, and then you're stuck with Obamacare. And honestly, it fails. It folds up upon itself. The country will have one or no insurers.
It's a dangerous game to play politically, though. What can the Republicans do? And I'm not just hammering on them, but you know what? They're in the driver's seat right now. They can get this thing done. They can fix it. We all know it needs to be fixed. What can they get 50 votes on? And if you have to have Vice President Pence come in and cast the deciding vote, fine, but they don't seem to be able to get to 50 on, within, it's like I said, it's been like herding cats.
51 votes 18 months ago for a clean repeal.
There were several people who voted for that thing in 2015 that voted against it this time. That's been the messy, ugly part of it. But, this is kind of the personality that the American people, and I'm at ground level, but this is how they see Washington, D.C. Just this big mess, not much gets done, a lot of infighting, a lot of political bickering. I understand that environment, okay? But at the end of the day, the American people want something done. And right now, the GOP's in the driver's seat, so it's incumbent upon them to fix this thing.
Kat, what do you think we should do? They should do. Say
repealing is getting something done. I just want to go back to Rachel's point in terms of saying they crashed this car and now it's not fair to have us fix it. But,
no, I didn't say that. I said they should be helping to fix it.
Okay, but there's clearly ideological differences between Democrats and Republicans. Right. Clearly, they're not going to decide on the same solution to fix it.
Right.
I assume the Democrats would have more government involvement rather than less. But the difference is because Republicans ran on saying, "Let us fix it. We can fix it."
But you know what?
You don't advertise as being a body shop that can fix a car, and then once it gets there, you're all just arguing about how to fix it. Sorry, your car's not ready. I know it's been 7 years, kind of a long time.
Move the ball forward. You're the quarterback. You're Mitch McConnell, leader of the Senate. Where do you take this debate going forward from here?
It's tough, and I think it's tough because the GOP also seems to have a bit of an identity crisis in terms of who they are.
True, but
what do you
say? Here we are.
I'm trying to get everyone out to realize. This is
what it is. Okay, so Kat, you say it's ideological. I totally agree with you. I also literally think it is rhetorical. When you have Chuck Schumer, to your point, Rachel, saying, we know that there are problems with the Affordable Care Act. We know that there are problems with Obamacare. Bill Clinton on the campaign trail saying it's a disaster. I think that there's an awareness. I think the problem is with the rhetoric. If you call it straight up repeal and replace, you're not going to have any Democratic buy-in. That's just the flat-out truth. Whether that's fair or not, that's the way it goes. If you call it revisiting or revamping or redeveloping Obamacare or ACA, I actually think there's opportunity for buy-in. I think it's a rhetorical issue.
So where would you go? I want to know.
I like Rachel's idea about let's talk about choices. Well, around, say, for instance, there's no reason everybody in America should be paying for maternity coverage, right? If you're at a place where...
We're beyond that right now.
It's just an example, but it's not chipping away.
Here we are. Mitch McConnell called for a vote. He got his vote. Now he has to do something. What is it? What do my co-hosts think we should do? And all four of our co-hosts. What should Mitch McConnell do?
I mean, in terms of what? That's what
step away. I agree. Step away. He's not. They're not going to get the votes.
I would do if I was Mitch McConnell. I'd blow up the filibuster rule and get this thing going. That's what I would do.
That's an option.
But that's going to tick off a lot of people. But I think this is what the American people voted for. And you know what? The American people don't understand all these precious rules at the Senate.
Stuffy. What do the Republicans do right now? They got to do something in the next, week or so. What do they do? What's the right thing to do?
The right thing to do is repeal it. There seems to be enough votes, I think, for that. Repeal it and you have to find a solution to replace it. And but you can't just go repeal and 2 years later. I think
No, you can't do that, right?
Yeah, I agree.
You just said it's either repeal and replace later,